The mistake you learned the hard way that you can now help people to avoid?
Stop dating out of alignment. What does that look like? It looks like when you say, I don't want to date a man with kids, and then the next guy who talks to you or wants to talk to you has kids and you make an exception. And then you don't go anywhere with that relationship, or it goes on too long and you're thinking to yourself, I didn't even want to date him. I don't even like guys with kids, and you're going over a list of reasons why you shouldn't have dated someone when he didn't meet the standard. Stop dating men who don't meet the standard. Stop dating people, because even for men, stop dating women who don't meet the standard. If you don't want to date a woman who has emotional issues, when you see that she is easily triggered and doesn't know how to emotionally regulate herself and doesn't have emotional agility, don't continue to date her. She's already showing you she doesn't meet the standard. Don't date out of loneliness. When you date out of loneliness, that means you haven't mastered self-love and acceptance. Because if you had, you would understand that you yourself are a human being. So you actually count. And it's important to be comfortable with your own company. When you're not comfortable with your own company, you will always date out of loneliness, or you will be dating in order for you to meet a need. And what usually happens when you have a need that's birthed out of survival mode, like you're trying to survive. So that's where the need comes from. I don't feel like I can survive alone, so therefore I always need someone else. And that will attract users, abusers, predators, and narcissists. When you have a healthy relationship with yourself, that is a narcissist, users, and abusers, psychopath repellent, because they don't like people who have healthy boundaries and who have healthy self-worth and self-esteem. Because guess what? Those types of people aren't going to be putting up with people who use, abuse, and mistreat them. So they already know that I've got to meet this bar and that's too high for me. So I'm not going to F with him or her. You see what I'm saying? And you don't want them to F with you. You want them to skedaddle. So what you're doing when you date out of alignment, you're settling. And that's why it doesn't feel good. And that's why you have a laundry list of things that you didn't like or shouldn't have did and should have, would have, could have, when it's because you settled. When you date in alignment, that means you have a standard. And when people don't meet the standard, you're grateful. Because guess what? That means you get redirected, repurposed. You get realigned with what it is that you do want. Just like if you were going to school to be a doctor, you're not going to accept them giving you artsy curriculum, because that has nothing to do with med school. Let's just say, you see what I'm saying? Because it's out of alignment. So if you want to date a man who lives on his own and is taking care of himself, that means you don't date the man who is living at home but has potential to move out. You're out of alignment, and that's why you're out of pocket when you end up dating these types of persons, and it usually leaves you out of time, out of money, out of good health, out of peace. Don't do it to yourself.